To Girls vs. Ghosts Radio. Welcome to the Dr. Gina Show. Dr. Gina is a health and wellness advocate with a doctorate in occupational therapy. She graduated from NYU with a degree in psychology, finished her master's degree at Thomas Jefferson University, and earned her doctorate at Temple University, as well as she holds many certifications in nutrition, personal training, child yoga. Gina now works in early intervention, specializing in children with autism. Gina is an animal lover. She supports many rescue organizations and enjoys advocating for animal rights. Join Dr. Gina as she takes you on a journey to live your best life now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dr. Gina Show on Girls vs. Ghosts Media. I hope everyone that celebrates Easter had a good Easter. Tonight's show is going to be, I feel like it's going to be, I'm going to call it a little special, and this is why. Since I started my show was in October, and I remember my first show and how nervous I was about my first show. And before I did my first show, Charlotte, who is my amazing producer, thank you, Charlotte. She is here running my show. You can find her, by the way, on Girls vs. Ghosts Media, and she has a lot of new things that are going on and happening, and she's just amazing. So when I did start my show in October, she was reassuring me. She was my best support, and I was still nervous, really nervous about this, but I knew, like deep down inside, it was what I had to do. I have to say tonight's show is about soul contracts, and I think that, my soul definitely had a mission, which would be a part of my contract in my Akashic records, that this is my calling. And for my clients that know me or my friends, whoever's listening, shout out to Heather, who is my amazing, amazing, amazing social media person that does everything, and she's always right there to answer me when I need her. Anyway, so let me just get back on track here. So tonight's show is very special because since I've been doing my show in October, I'm always in my apartment in New York City because I've been nervous since show one, and I'm sitting there, and I have, a lot of times I have my notes prepared of, some bold-faced things. I used to type them up for a while and give them to Charlotte and make sure that everything was okay, and I knew what I was going to do, and I was nervous, and, I would do this whole meditation, and I never, there wasn't one day, all the way up until today, that I hadn't, sat in the same spot to do this show. So today is a very special show, like I was saying, because I am in my house in New Jersey, South New Jersey, and then I was a little nervous about this at first, saying, can I do my show in a different spot rather than sitting on my couch? Can I do this? And I said, yes, I can. And then I thought, well, my show's on soul contracts. I don't have my computer or my internet at this house. I'm not going to be able to get anything prepared tonight. I don't have anything to fall back on. And I remember one show I was like that, and I had told Charlotte, I couldn't think of any notes. I couldn't get anything together. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I was a little nervous about that show. I think I wasn't going to have one, and then we decided to have one. And I remember channeling that whole entire show because I had my guide come with me. I'm like, listen, I don't have anything prepared. We're going to do this. And that's basically what's going to happen tonight. So for everyone that knows me, I obviously channel. I talk to spirit on the other side. What I do is I tap into a universal energy that is called the council, and that's what they told me to call them. So when I do readings, or a lot of times I'm doing the show or I'm doing events, when I'm not doing a gallery type reading and I am doing an event where people would ask questions, I channel directly to the council. And people would ask questions and I answer them through, via the council. And also, if you're doing a reading with me, I also have, and he's just coming in recently, another spirit that I channel is Bruce. I call him Bruce, #Bruce with the juice. And he comes in, and he seems to like love. And I remember when he first came in, it was like last August, and I was doing a reading for one of my favorite clients, and he had come in. She was talking about, relationship with a guy. And all of a sudden I was coughing so much, like I couldn't breathe. And I was just like, and I do cough sometimes if a spirit's trying to show me how they passed from lung cancer or something. But it was a different channel that I was getting. And I knew that it wasn't one of the relatives of the person. I'm coughing and coughing, like dying. And then it happened a few more times. So I was like, what is going on? And I asked, and, he gave me his name, and he just started appearing and coming to me. And that happens as a channel. Like I obviously channel different relatives that pass and different spirits like that. But besides the council, Bruce has been a pretty much staple. If someone's talking about a love or a relationship, and it's usually women, he loves women. And so he'll come in and he'll help give, advice for women. So tonight, I just want to go over a couple things. I want to thank everyone who's listening out there. I know a lot of people were looking forward to the show, so you're out there listening. Don't forget that you can call in, and I am not going to forget to take callers tonight, so I'm going to be looking for the callers in about a half an hour, and the call-in number is 646-668-490. So you can call in. It doesn't have to be a question about soul contracts. It can be any question you want. I just want to also give a shout out to all my loyal listeners and clients, and you all know who you are out there. I'm very, very happy that you're all listening and you were looking forward to this show. And I also want to again say to please follow Girls vs. Ghosts Media on Instagram as well as Facebook, and look at all the new cool things that are coming up with our Girls vs. Ghosts family and the new projects and everything everyone is doing. Okay, so people seem to like this, so I'm just going to briefly talk about this before I get into my main topic of soul contracts. A lot of people and a lot of my clients, they always, I'm always trying to help them develop their intuition, to grow, to, yes, have readings with me. But if you know me, I'm a different type of reader, and I like to help elevate your soul. What I like to call it is #the soul's journey. So I like to either go into your past lives and look at some of the soul contracts that you might have in your Akashic records, some of the people that is part of your soul family, part of your soul group, and, some of your soul mates. I like to read based on a spirit reading, because even though I am a psychic, I'm a medium, and yes, I do psychic readings based on your energy. I kind of combine both, and then definitely use my counseling degree as well. But anyway, soul contracts is such a cool topic, and it's very complicated in so many ways. And again, I'm going to start channeling, and how I'm going to be channeling these is I'm going to talk about a topic, and then I'm just going to channel, and I'm going to let Spirit come in and answer these questions tonight. So not only are all you listeners going to learn out there, but I am going to learn. I'm going to play this back. And I remember one show that I did, it was about, I think it was relationships, and I was talking to my producer, Charlotte. After that, I was having some problem or issue with a relationship, and she's like, Gina, just go back and listen to your show on relationships. And I did, because I was channeling. So I don't always remember everything. I don't go into a deep trance like, Abraham, where I don't remember anything, because I can hear still. I'm not in that deep part of a trance. But when I get kind of on a roll, sometimes I can't always comprehend. It's kind of like if you watch a YouTube video or something, you always want to hear it again. So I went back, and I'm really looking forward to going back and learning some things about soul contracts. And again, when I do channel, because that's what I'm going to be doing tonight, and I bring the counsel in, Gina, Dr. Gina, also comes out. So I will go into channel, and then I come out and I do a lot of interpretation. And then I might use myself as an example when I do that. So a lot of my clients will know the difference. when I'm channeling or when I'm coming out using a psychic channel, or if I'm just being Dr. Gina using my life experience and my degrees in counseling. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to talk about tonight and start from the beginning, and let's see how it goes. So anyway, it's going to be let's see how it goes tonight, because I'm really depending on the council to come in to help me. I don't think Bruce is coming in this one because I don't know. Let's see. I mean, he might. I can't say he's not, because sometimes he gets really excited, but I haven't been doing any coughing yet. So we're going to see if he comes in or not. So I'm going to basically be stating a question, and then from there I'm going to channel, and we're going to use all my channels here and see what happens. So for just a quick definition of soul's contract, a soul's contract, meaning your soul's contract, is something that you write before you're born. So it's found in, and if you listen to me talk before, in your Akashic records. So your Akashic records, you can think of it as like a huge library, and I like to say heaven or the sky, whatever you want to believe. It's a large, large book. So I'm not saying it's really a book, okay, but I'm just trying to make it so that you can visualize this. So sometimes some of the things I say isn't real reality, but it's a way for you to picture it, okay? So in your Akashic records, your large book that's in heaven, that is guarded by the council, and, you know, they're pretty much the CEOs that sit there and guard your Akashic records, and they talk to your spirit guides. And when your spirit guides need help, or your higher self needs help, and it decides to go up and ask and check on things and renegotiate, they look at your Akashic records, your soul contract. That's your support system. That is your book that you said before you're born. You wrote this soul contract. You said, I'm going to come here and I'm going to do A, B, C. I like to say, you know, Roman numeral 1, you're in your soul contract. I'm going to come here under Roman numeral 1, and I'm going to be born to a mother, a single mother. I'm going to come and I'm going to be born to a single mother. My father's not going to be in the picture. That's part of your soul contract. Bold Roman numeral 1. Roman numeral 1 could be, I'm going to be born as a deaf. I'm going to come in. I'm not going to be able to hear. That's in your contract. You wrote that. It's a soul contract that you made. You said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to come here, and Roman numeral 2, I'm going to come here and I'm going to marry George. And George says, okay, I'm going to come here and I'm going to marry you, Mary. And George and Mary are going to have 2 kids. And it's part of your soul contract. It's already written. And that's why when I do readings and someone's sitting across from me, and I'm able to find that out, because I go in, talk to the council, and they show me the Akashic records. And, you know, Sally's sitting in front of me, and Sally wants to know when she's getting married. When am I getting married? When am I getting married? When am I going to meet Mr. Right? And I ask, and I channel, and I go and I look in and ask the council if they can look into the Akashic records and see. And sometimes I'll clearly see, oh, you're definitely getting married here. It looks like, you know, you're going to be getting married, you know, this year. I can see it. And then sometimes I can't. And I used to wonder, how come I can't always see in this book, you know, this Akashic record, this soul contract? How come I can't see? Because Mary's over here, and Mary wants to know when she's getting married. She's like, you know, getting to the point where she wants to be in that type of relationship, and I can't see it, and it's really frustrating me. Well, their soul contracts have free will, you have to remember. So even though Mary is supposed to get married in Roman numeral 3 in her soul contract, free will comes in on these soul contracts. And that could mess things up, just like hashtag pass your effing test, like I say, learn your lessons. Soul contracts are written, yes, but that doesn't mean that you're going to fulfill that soul contract. It says, before I come here, I fully believe that I'm going to pass. I'm going to do this soul contract. This is what I want to do. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do it in this lifetime. You might come back another 1 or 2 lifetimes to fulfill this soul contract that you didn't fulfill in, you know, this lifetime. You might have to take 2 or 3 lifetimes to do it. But then again, a lot of them, you know, that you've already written, like some of your stipulations, like who your parents are and things like that, that's already written. But remember, say that you have a soul contract, that you're going to come here and you're going to be born to a mother who doesn't, you don't have your father. Your father is not in the picture. That's something. It's a lesson you want to learn. It's a condition you want to go through. It's something that you choose, and that's the way you're going to be born. And then your mother, who doesn't, you don't have a father, she marries another guy, and all of a sudden you get this wonderful guy who's not your biological father, but he comes into the picture and he becomes your father. And you didn't really want that in your soul contract. You wanted to go through something else. But again, free will comes in, everything plays. So even something wonderful like that happens, you got to understand that soul contracts, they're not written in stone, we'll say. They're written in a soul contract means this is what I want to happen, but there's all these other players in the field, people in your soul family or not, other players that have free will. So most likely this will happen, most likely. But there are energies that could shift and move the soul contract so it doesn't play out exactly like you want it. Or we could be stuck in it, for sure. Now remember how I always talk about this. And I heard some controversy about this too. And I'm not always saying I'm right what I'm channeling. I try to do my best and channel and give you what I hear, but I can't always be right. So what I've heard, which I don't believe to be right because I've never heard this, but I have heard this from a couple mediums that I have to say I well respect. And they had both told me that we don't have lessons when we come here. And I was completely confused because I respected them. But everything I've seen, I know we have lessons. So I say, okay, is this soul contract, what does this have to do with our lessons? And I needed to ask because I want to know. So when we write our soul's contract and we do come here, say we want to learn something, well, we all do, most of us. It depends on actually where we're elevating our soul, where we are on our soul's journey. So some of us come here and they want to practice in their soul's contract. They say, I'm going to experience loneliness. I want to see what it's like to be lonely, go through that as a soul. And then each relationship, whether that would be a family relationship, a lover, any type of relationship, it usually fails for some reason because you want to be able to learn from this. You want to heal old wounds. You want to maybe get to a point where your soul is going to elevate for the highest good, for your higher consciousness. Now, mind you, this soul contract usually involves another person when you're looking at relationships. And that's where people say, soulmate, this is my soulmate. Yes, so sometimes you and your soulmate get together before you're born and you say, I'm going to come and me and you are going to be together. We're going to be in a relationship, and I'm going to be the soul that gives you problems and makes you feel lonely. I'm going to be the soul that doesn't give you the good relationship, that's not going to commit to me. And the other soul says, I'm going to be the one that's going to pretty much learn the lesson. So you both agree that you're going to come here. And this is a funny thing because so many people struggle with this, and they're in relationships or they want to be in relationships, and they'll be with somebody that, we'll just say commitment. They won't commit to this person. But the person they won't leave this person. And they say, this is my soulmate, this is my twin flame, whatever they say. But I try and I see this. I say, this is nothing to do with that other soul. That other soul has agreed to come here to challenge you. Don't get mad at that person because this is all your lesson that you're learning. This is something you both chose. Now, me, as a human, regular Gina here, Dr. Gina, I have a hard time with this because I have been through this type of thing. And I know better, and I hear it, but you still get stuck in it as a human. You're in this test. I like to say this is what we chose. This is the lesson that we chose, one of our soul contracts. We came here with this lesson. And when are we going to learn this lesson? Well, we could stay in the learning phase for a long time until we #pass our effing test, right? Because as soon as you pass that test, you've healed that part. And definitely gifts are given to you because now you've raised your consciousness. You raised your vibration. You're on a whole new level, and everything changes. And I totally have a hard time with it But the truth is, you cannot hold that other person accountable for whatever it is they're doing to you, because you got to look at it on a soul's level. And I had such a hard time with this, but I think in the last I'm seriously telling you, only a few months, have I really spent a lot of alone time just really healing, meditating, and looking at this and talking to my guides. Whatever that person's giving you, say they can't give you a commitment, you just know that this is your thing. You have to fix this in yourself. You have to realize if this is not them doing something mean to you, maybe on a human level it is, but look at it deeper. Look at it as a soul contract. If this isn't the relationship that you want, if this is not making you vibrate where you need to be, you must leave this relationship, because it will keep being stuck in that lesson until you pass your test. Nothing will change. Nothing, unless you change. If you even walk away from this relationship and you do not do your inner work, your soul's work, what you need to do to pass, you will get another relationship just like that relationship that you didn't heal from. And I never understood this time where people said, oh, you just have to be alone for a little while, you have to give it time. Well, half the people that said that really don't know what they were saying, but the fact is there's truth in that. You need to be alone to do your soul work, to do your inner work, to find out what it is that why are you in this lesson? Realize that this is something I chose. What is it that I need to do to heal myself so that I don't abuse myself in this type of relationship? And only then will you pass your test, and that person that you're with is either going to give you what it is you want, or you're going to get someone that will. But until you're true to yourself, forgive the other person, because that's just a contract they gave you, and learn your own lessons. Will something change? Now, I remember one time, I think I might have told this story before. I was in a relationship with this guy, and I knew it was a relationship that wasn't giving me exactly what I wanted, but I was kind of stuck in the lesson. And I was kind of half asleep, and every time I stayed at his house, sometimes I would always get these crazy deep dreams, and like definitely wide open to spirit like I used to be. So I think because I was like half in sleep, half out when you're not really sleeping home or something's on your mind. So one time I was going to sleep, and I was like in that alpha state, just falling asleep, and I heard his higher self laughing and saying, ha, 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 this is the part where she walks away and leaves and doesn't want to be in this relationship no more, and we go on this crazy ride. Okay, let's go, ha, ha. And they kind of both laughed, my higher self and his, and gave each other a high five. And at that time, I was definitely contemplating being out of this situation, and I did. But when they gave each other a high five, it was basically they were saying, she's going to walk away, fine, this is the time, and we're going to go through this roller coaster bag. I'll see you in a little while, meaning we're going to get back together. Now, at that time, I wasn't even sure I was walking away, but I did. I walked away, and like didn't even talk for a few months, and then we did get back together, and it was so insane. I keep thinking about it, just like both higher selves already knew the whole soul contract, how this stuff was going to play out, what had to be done. I had to go do a lot of soul work. I'm sure he was doing a lot of work, but I had to come back because definitely there was some kind of soul contract going on here. So the thing is, once you find out, and it's hard to really, how you can find out what one of your soul lessons are, one of your soul contracts that you decided, what is it that keeps repeating itself in your life? It keeps coming over and over and repeating itself, and it doesn't end. It could be you're stuck in a relationship that, you're not fulfilled with, and it keeps repeating. Well, right there, you got to know that's one of the soul contracts you chose. You're in your lesson. You got to learn it. And the only way you learn it is by examining who you are, yourself, healing yourself. Say you could be stuck in a job with a boss that you're being so loyal to, and you're just so loyal. You don't want to leave this boss no matter what happens, what gets thrown on you. You now have 5 jobs. Your one job turned into 5 jobs, but you're so loyal to this company, and you feel uncomfortable. This is one of your lessons. It's in your soul contract. It's something you chose to, go through, loyalty, to understand what loyalty was. So usually it's something that feels uncomfortable. That's when you know you're in your lesson. And that's when you know that's something that you got to look at in yourself to heal yourself from it. Because by you staying at that job with this unloyal boss, you're stuck in your lesson. You're not standing up for yourself. You're not giving yourself that self-love. You're not passing your test. You're stuck, and it's going to keep repeating itself. And guess what? Being so loyal in that test or lesson could lead you to maybe disappointment where the boss could let you go after you were so loyal. So understand that when something feels uncomfortable, whatever the situation is, it even could be something as simple as like you're in your apartment and the landlord doesn't fix anything for you, but you just so like loyal to this apartment, you just want to stay there, and you're like your neighbors and this and this and this, but you understand that it's so uncomfortable, the whole atmosphere. It's time to leave. It's time to leave. You have to stand up for yourself. Another super cool thing that I want to talk about in soul contracts. So, like I just said, some of your soul contracts, you come here, you choose some affliction that you want to be a part of. You could come here and you won't be able to hear, or you come here and you say, I'm going to experience, I'm going to be paraplegic, or you can choose something from birth that you want to come here and live that type of life. Or again, you choose some of the soul lessons that you want to learn, like you want to learn how to love yourself more or how to stand up for yourself. And like I said, those will be the things that keep repeating itself. Another thing that's in your soul's contract when you come here, and mind you, don't forget the free will thing, but when you come as a soul, you say, okay, I'm going to come here and I want to, children, there's abortions, obviously, or miscarriages. These souls are not even born, really. They just, they could come out and, dead, or the baby dies so young. That's a soul contract. Your soul chose to be that child that comes, and dies within a day or goes into the ICU. That's something, that was a soul contract. That's something you wanted to experience. You chose that for whatever lesson it was, for whatever reason it was, and your soul contract was part of that mother's soul contract who said she wanted to experience a baby that passed away, and the father. So there's so many people that are involved in this one little soul's contract for that baby. You are as that baby, the mother, the father. There's so many souls that signed in to be a part of that soul contract, just to come into this world. And I want to talk about this. Soul relationships, soul families, did you ever just walk down the street and you just, I don't know, for me in New York City, there'll be some homeless man, and he's just, there's this one guy, especially down I used to live on the Lower East Side, and he was always on the F train, and he would just ramble and talk, and he was, I for some reason was drawn to this man. I don't know. And sometimes I would just sit next to this guy and just listen to him talk, because I would hear some messages that he would say. And I know, I'm telling you, that was a familiarity to that soul to me. He was like the homeless guy that, like, everyone ran the other way from. But for me, I just felt like there was something about him. He was totally part of my soul family, whether, he was a crazy homeless guy or not. And I just remember I was going through a hard time at that time when I was making a lot of changes. And I sat next to him, and I would just listen to him ramble. And he would never notice me. Like, he was in his own world. He never said anything to me, and I seen him all the time. And I remember sitting next to him one day, and he actually turned around. He looked me right in my eyes, and he said, things are going to get better. It just keeps getting better. And he turned back around and started mumbling and doing whatever. And I knew that was part of, like, that was a message. He's part of a soul contract. Even something that simple is giving me that message was something that was supposed to happen. That's how simple the soul contracts are. When the soul really thinks they're going to break, this person's going to come in and give you this message that's going to be amazingly outstanding, because that's part of your soul contract. So something that little can be written in your soul contract, your Akashic record. for sure. Now, also, this is a controversial thing, but it happens, and I've seen it happen. And I never really understood this, but let me tell you the story. So, some souls come here, and they want to experience trauma, okay? So they say, I am going to come here, and I'm going to be, let's say, in a skiing accident, okay, for example. They want to be in a skiing accident, and, they're going to not be able to walk, say completely paralyzed. But that's something, as a soul contract, they come here and do that. As a human, it seems horrible to hear that's what you signed up for. But as a soul, that's one of the things you want to go through, so you're going to do it. So here they go. They're going through this. Say this, they want to happen as a teenager, 15. I want to go through this at 15. 15, here comes the skiing accident. This soul goes through this terrible thing, and now they're paralyzed. They can't walk, and it is so much for this soul to bear, so much. This can happen. Another soul now comes in and takes over because that soul wants to leave. There's an exit point that's allowed, and now another soul comes in to handle that life from there forth because that other soul took it to the point where that soul couldn't handle it. So when they go to meet, because we have meetings, we sleep, and a lot of times we're sleeping, we're up there talking to our guides, our counsels, and that soul couldn't take it. There's an exchange. There's a soul exchange. That happens. I have some callers on the line, but I want to just finish this in a second. Another thing that happens. So that does happen. It's a soul exchange. And I remember this, and as I understand and become more in my spiritual growth and speak with the counsel and do a lot more channeling, I learn a lot. I remember I had a cat, and I might have talked about this before, and his name was Kramer. Loved this cat more than anything in the world, more than some family and friends. And he passed away, and I just thought, and I've had so many cats and so many animals, but this was the most devastating thing ever. I just thought, I cannot live without Kramer. Like, there's no possible way I can possibly ever live without Kramer. Now, was Kramer in my soul contract? Guess what? Yeah, he was. Animals and pets are in your soul contract. And was I supposed to experience this loss of Kramer? I was. And he was supposed to, and he was my favorite cat, and it was when I was in grad school at Jefferson. So it made things very, very difficult when I was trying to study because it just was devastated watching him be sick. And that was part of my soul contract. And he was part of my soul contract to come as my cat. He was coming. He was my cat. And then when he passed away, I was devastated. And 6 months later, I was driving down Germantown Avenue in Philly, and my now cat Germany walked across Germantown Avenue, and I got him. And he was Kramer, reincarnated, and he is, and I have him back. And guess what? That was in my soul contract, too. I was going to get another cat, some things like that. Soul contracts, the Akashic records are huge, big. And that does happen with the soul, like I was talking about that skiing accident. And you know what else happens, though? This really doesn't have so much to talk about soul contracts, but I want to talk about this because it keeps coming up when I talk to my guides. It was something I really didn't understand, but I do now. And for some reason, I was supposed to talk about this tonight. And again, it doesn't have much to do with soul contracts, but kind of does because it talks about souls. So when a soul, because I'm talking about when you're in a skiing accident, another soul will step in. When a soul gets very, very either intoxicated or does drugs, and I swore, and I was with one of my exes. As you all know, I have some crazy relationships as part of my soul's journey. But anyway, my ex, who I was with for years, my ex-fiance, he was total drink and get so crazy, and then he would go do drugs. And I would watch him change. And I knew the other soul that would step in. And I called him. I had a name for him. He was Lefty. And not only, because when you get so intoxicated, sometimes the atmosphere is so much for that soul to handle that it actually leaves. It stays tethered to, that body through a cord, through the silver cord, but it has to exit the body. It's too much to handle. And there are these lower energies that wait to go into that body. And I used to think it was a joke. I used to make it up. I called him Lefty, And I said, and he used to actually put his hat on the left side. He would start talking and walking different. He even wore his clothes, pants would like start to hang, and he would turn into lefty. That soul would come in, and I used to make a joke and say that was it. Now, after years of channeling and knowing, I sure know this to be true. That happens. And he would become this, that would take him over. And then guess what? Even when he was lefty, he was cool, he was fun. When he used to do heavy drugs, and he got to the point there that I called him Crackhead Bob would come in. Another soul would come. So lefty would be one point and Crackhead Bob, and this is no lie. And he would come in, and he was a horrible, mean, rotten, destructive person. Now my ex is in prison because at one point Crackhead Bob put him in prison. And that's the truth. The souls take over. And one time I remember sleeping, and he was so messed up I wouldn't let him in. And I actually saw the spirit come to look for him, to inhibit his soul. And it happens. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. And even with another guy that I was seeing, I seen it. I was in the Uber car with him, and he was getting ready to drop me off, and he said something, and I said to myself, holy shit, I know that energy. And it was definitely, it was lefty. It was come back. It was the same soul. So crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And it happens. It is exactly that. And I've seen it now in two different people. The same thing. It comes, and that other soul comes in and inhibits it. So anyway, I just had to add that because it is kind of, again, part of the soul contract, sort of, I have to say. I probably could do a whole show on something like that for sure. All right, so I want to talk real quick about free will. With free will, and this gets really confusing for people because some people come here, again, with their soul's contract, everything. Like when we write our soul's contract, we really think we're going to come and do everything. We're so excited. We're like, I'm going to come here, I'm going to experience loneliness, and I'm going to get through it, and I'm going to pass that test. I'm going to have anxiety, and I'm going to get through it. I'm going to pass that test. I'm going to experience loyalty, and I'm going to experience like poor self-confidence, and I'm going to pass it. All these things we say we're going to experience, and we think we're just going to pass it. Because when we get here in this human world here, it's so hard. So some of the lessons in our soul's contract, we don't get through, and we try to get it this lifetime, but we can't. And that's why I always talk to my clients, like, please, hashtag, pass your effing test, because we need to elevate our soul, because we don't want to go through whatever it is we chose, whatever lesson it is we need to go through, for sure. And another thing about a soul contract, do we come here like to have a mission to pass our test and elevate our soul? Yes, we do. Depending on where we are on the soul's journey, where our soul is, how elevated our soul is, depending on what lesson we need to learn. Some people, I'd call them fillers. They're just, they kind of just walk around, and they're part of contracts for some of the higher souls, and there's all different levels of souls and where we are here. And some souls come here not only to pass their own tests, but to give back. Like we come here, I know, based on my life, and again, this is a whole nother show, but the way the universe has twisted and turned me, especially in the last 5 years, where I was, working in my career, and that was taken away from me, and I was put into doing the spiritual work, and then I kept drifting back to my doctorate in occupational therapy, and again recently, and that was like challenged again, and I had a different challenge, and I just keep being challenged to be my soul contract. It has to be fulfilled, what I'm supposed to be here to do this, and other things to help elevate this consciousness of people. And if I deviate from that, my guides keep saying, this is your soul contract, Gina, and you're effing it up because you keep doing something that's not your soul contract. So we're going to have to keep taking things away from you and pushing you to this because you're not getting it. Wake up. And I do get it, but it's a scary thing to take that leap. But once you know that you're supposed to and you're not doing it, your guide, depending again where you are in your soul journey, is going to say, let's take this away because you're not fulfilling your soul contract. Okay, So I hope you guys learned something from tonight's Soul Contract Talk. I have some callers on the line, and I'm going to take them right now because last week I forgot. So let me see, and I'm going to take a caller now and see who's on the line. So I'm going to ask.
Dr. Gina, you have Jane on the line. You have Jane on the line.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, Gina. This is Jane.
Who is it, Jane?
It's Jane, Jane.
Oh, hi, Jane. Jane.
How are you?
Hi. Thank you for calling in. Thank you. I'm glad to hear your voice. I know I'm not in New York tonight, but I get to hear you from New Jersey.
That's not too far away. So I'm glad that I've listened. I was able to dial in about 5 minutes, I think, after you started, if that. And so I've heard all of it, and this topic is so cool, and what I've been going through in my personal life, and I look at that, and there's some stuff going on professionally too, but I think I have the tools to handle that all right. Things feel okay there. I'm just in a place where, if this is indeed, I'm in the mindset that my vibration is, I'm not, sort of living up to my potential. I'm letting a few things slide, at least where my sobriety is concerned, how I'm managing that, how I'm managing my day-to-day life, engaging in some self-destructive behaviors. Not too bad, but just, some habits that aren't so good. And I'm wondering if that has to do with the delay or the obstacles that continue to be in the way of the communication that I want to have with the person that I want to be with.
Oh, this is such a great question. Oh, the spirits are so excited to answer this question. It's going to be like a 2 or 3 part question, so I'm just going to channel this one for you. Okay, and then I'll come out and we'll clarify. So hold on for a second.
Okay.
So just like you were asking and saying, yes, because this is where you've been doing your work and your intuition and you've been studying and you've been looking at this, and you're completely right. This is your holdup because you're stuck in your lesson. So when you're stuck in your lesson and you haven't got past your lesson, this will hold up in many areas. So if you're stuck in, we'll just say something, your sobriety, something that you've struggled with and you've been able to pass and come on the other side of that. But if you go back to different habits that might not even have to do with consuming alcohol for that reason, but it's going back to your addictive pattern, that will show up in every part of your life all the time. And we say this all the time. If there's something that you want to get in your personal life and things aren't working in your social life or your inner world or your work, and you're not doing well in those worlds because you're not elevating yourself and learning your lessons, it's going to block other areas. So those areas might not even be something that you're struggling with, but it all shows up in your weed garden from planting the negativity. So if you're messing up and you're not staying and passing your test in something as your habit or something as your self-confidence, that's going to show up in a communication block. Even though you might not feel, why do you have a communication block? I'm such a good communicator. Why would something like this be blocked? Why can't I seem to get it right when this isn't not something I struggle with? Because that has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the other areas of your life, and it's showing up there. So does that make sense for you?
Yes, it does. Even though my intention for this individual is so good and the vibration around it is so pure and positive, it doesn't seem to be getting through.
Now here, for sure, I mean, I know because I've worked with you. You and him, for sure, are part of the same soul family. You have a soul contract together, 100%. You're working that out together. You're both challenging each other in other ways to work this out. But he has nothing to do with you right now. What you have to concentrate on is your part. And one of the reasons that you're stuck in this communication, and it seems like a block, is because you're not having enough self-confidence in who you are, what you bring to the table, and what it is you do, and you're stumbling on that. And because of that, it's showing up in communication blocks. So you have to go back to yourself, self-love, and understand who you are, and what you bring to the table. Have so much self-confidence in that and put that out there without any blocks, because you're putting blocks in your communication by being afraid to step forward and say everything you need to say.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing, because I know that to be true. Sure. That is so crazy. That is true, because I've heard it. So that is one of the things you need to do for you is that, because I know you, and I know that your self-confidence in your work area, I've seen it low in your work area, and then I've seen your work not so good, but I've seen it high, and I've seen your work amazing. This is where you need to go in this relationship. You have to get back to that confidence level, because you have to understand who you are and project everything you have. There's nothing to lose here. This is for you all to gain. You have to be true in who you are, and you hold back very much, and you're afraid to step because you're afraid you're going to say something or do this. You can't be. Just keep being authentic and true to who you are, and it's all going to work out.
Okay, I want to let you know we FaceTimed, and he had talked to him since it's face-to-face since last November. Never over the phone, just a little text here and there, right? And he, didn't want to talk about anything substantial. Kept it almost comically surface level. Mm-hmm. And I didn't push it because it was 3:00 in the morning and my brain was scrambled, but mostly because I didn't exactly that. I didn't want to rock the boat, scare, pry, push.
Right,
yes.
And that's not it. That's you failing. You see? You failed. Get back there and pass. Be true in who you are. All right. Well, thank you for calling in, Jane.
Thank you very much, Gina. Talk to you later.
All right.
Okay, take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye.
Hey, it's Charlotte. Dr. Gina's call dropped, so we're going to wait for her to get back. And I'm going to let her know. Call back in. All right, she's going to be calling back in just a second. But, wow, what a show tonight. It's amazing what she's talking about with soul contracts. I had a very similar experience with a gentleman outside a bus stop in New York. But Dr. Gina is, back on the line with us, so I'm going to bring her in now.
Hello.
Hi, Dr. Gina.
Sorry, guys. I'm in my country home in Jersey, and I dropped the call. Sorry.
No worries. You have Rena on the line.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Rena. I'm so glad you called because I was thinking of you today. I swear. I was like, I have to send a message to Rena and ask her to, let her know about the show. And I was like, she saw it.
Of course I did. I'm one of your biggest fans. And I was very excited about tonight's episode. So,
well,
hi.
I hope you got something out of it. I hope you learned a little.
I definitely did, and I kind of felt like you were speaking right to me, so that's pretty funny.
No, it's so weird. Like I said, your name came up, and I'm glad you called in. So let's get with your questions so we can get some help here.
I guess, excuse me. I guess my question is, I've been doing a lot of work stuff in terms of like my career and all of that. And right now I feel like my test right now is just to be patient. But also, oh my God, it's funny that usually you're coughing when Bruce is coming through. Right now I can't breathe.
I think Bruce is coming through you tonight, Rena. No.
Oh my God, I seriously can't fucking breathe. Excuse my language.
Okay, let's pull Bruce back, man, because he likes you.
Okay, yeah, okay.
He might be here. He might be coming through you. That's what he said.
That is wild.
All right. So we're talking about your patients.
Oh, sorry. I don't know if I'm supposed to be just like patient right now or really proactive in trying to find like something to do on the side, or what I'm really supposed to be doing right now. Because I feel kind of like in this weird limbo. Okay, let me ask for a second. So hold on for a second. But Bruce's relationship, which is like what is confusing. What's confusing? I was just thinking about Bruce and how he's usually related to like relationships. He is. I know. He is. All right, let me see, because I'm hearing something. So give me a second. Hold on. So Rena, you've done so much work, and there's been times when, yes, you have had anxiety for sure, and you've worked through it, and you've come so far and made so much progress, and you always do look for, and there's been times in the past where this is true, where you have to take the next step. You have to do this. You have to start creating this. You have to move on this. And we told you it's time to do this. You have to step ahead. You have to do this. You have to create. You have to move. And it's funny because your intuition is well. You know that. And you said, I think one of the things I need to do right now is have patience. And this is correct. This is the one time that you need to just breathe. Just breathe. Okay. This happens sometimes. Sometimes you just have done a lot of work. Manifest March, actually. We all did a lot of work, and we put a lot of manifest. And like I said, April was Meditation April. This is time to just breathe, kind of wait for those April showers, are going to bring these May flowers that manifest May. So this is time to just be patient, because all that work that you did already is going to come to bloom. But you have to be patient right now. Practice meditating. Practice being still in the moment. That's where you are. There's no doing right now. And this is a very rare time, because there's been a lot of doing for you. But this time right now, just know that you're where you need to be. And for you to just calm your mind and just be present, be in the now. Because things are already in place for you. They're already happening. But you just have to become aware that they're happening, because you're moving so fast in your mind that you're not present in the now to experience the journey that is within the now for you. You see? I feel that way, but how do I chill out? Because it feels like I need to be patient. Like I feel like that on a gut level, but it's like I'm not comfortable with that, because I feel like if I'm just relaxing, then you're not like my life is then I'm like completely out of control or something. Like I'm not, know. So this is one of the things you've decided to come here, and I know for a fact, I hear one of the things you wanted to experience, and you've got it, is experience anxiety. You want to experience anxiety, so you got to pass it. Yeah. So let's beat this, and let's get out of this lesson, because it's time that you've learned it and you passed it on. So let's work on this month again in April. April is just being present in the now, meditation. It's hard for me too. And you got to just try to be present, quiet your mind, know you're in the right spot. Just take this last few weeks, just use April. It doesn't have to be something that you're going to always do, but just for these next few weeks, just practice meditating, being present, just in the journey. Stay where you are now. There's no work to be done right now. Just staying on the path. You've elevated, you've escalated, you've moved. It's just time to stay right here. Everything's going to start to happen for you. There's no extra what's next right now. You're in the good spot. That sounds really good. All right, cool. Does Bruce want to say anything? You know what? I didn't think he was. I think I said this at the beginning of the show. I didn't think he was coming in today. This was a lot of the council coming in today, and he hasn't stepped forward, so he hasn't come in. Okay. So the council's up tonight. And thanks, Gina. Yeah. So, like I said, I know that everything's going in the right place for you. I know you're exactly where you need to be. You just need to relax and just
enjoy this journey, this time, right now where you are. Don't think about tomorrow. Don't think about yesterday. It's all in the present, in the now. That book, Eckhart Tolle, Power Now.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's where you are right now. You're just here in the moment. Okay.
Yeah, and the thing you mentioned earlier in the show about souls like leaving the body and another one entering in.
Mhm.
How do you know if that happens to you? Do you know if that happens to you, or are you completely?
This is something new that they have just been talking to me about lately. But again, I've experienced it before, but I haven't, because this work is so hard. As you know, I do work all the time. So for me, it's just work on my journey where they're allowed to let me hear about this now. They're talking to me about this now and understand it. Even though I've seen it and I've shown it, they're putting it in to let me see it now for my journey and a part of my journey. So it's something that I have been hearing from them now that happens. And has that happened to me? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it hasn't. I'm pretty sure I've been the same soul. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that I've been the same soul. And has it happened for any of my clients? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I know one person that has totally happened to. And that's why I think they're letting me see it now, because I've been questioning about this one person. And it's funny how they're just talking to me about this now. And I've seen it, and I've been talking to my friends about the crazy this and that switch, and I think I completely know why now. And again, they only let me see things when it's time.
Right.
So I'm sure I'll be learning more about this, but that's
that's wild. I can't wait to talk to you about that.
I will.
It totally freaked me out. All right, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to the rest of the show.
All right, thank you, Rena. I'm going to take another caller. If there's another caller ready, I will take them.
Hello. Hi, Sharon. You're live on the air with Gina.
Hi, Gina.
Hi, who do I have?
This is Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi. I was wondering if I would like a reading, and didn't know if you could connect with my son on the other side, my family.
So let me tell you something, Sharon. When I do these shows, yes, I'm a medium, and when I do shows, and even if I have a private client, I can never guarantee who's going to come forward and step here, and especially on this type of show, because I only have a few minutes to answer each question. For me, that would be difficult, but what's going to happen is you're going to ask a question, and I'm going to go look for the answer, and if he pops in quickly, I'm going to tell you. But, I can't say for sure, but so let's start with you asking me a question that's not that, and I'll see what happens, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Where am I supposed to live? What am I supposed to be doing?
Where you're supposed to live, in location-wise?
Yeah, and what am I supposed to be doing?
In work, you mean? Life.
Yeah,
okay.
Life.
All right, so let me start here, Sharon. They want to talk to you, so I'm going to let them channel this answer, okay? So just listen for me. Okay. All right. So where are you supposed to live and what you're supposed to be doing? Sharon, right now you're so confused, and you have been. Your mind's been running in circles, and it's going in so many different places that where you're supposed to live and what you're supposed to be doing, that is something that there's no answer to that question. It is, what are you as a soul supposed to be doing for yourself? What are you supposed to be doing? You have to quiet your mind and listen and say, what makes me happy? Because your mind's racing so fast right now. There's no way that you can do that. You've been through so much, and there's so much going on, and it's hard for you to figure it out. And you cry and you're upset, and we understand why. But let's figure out how you can be happy with yourself. So where you're supposed to live is where do you feel good? What makes you happy? What resonates with your soul? When you ask yourself, should I live here? What feels good? When you say, what should I be doing for work? What feels good? That's an answer that you can only say yourself. There's no right or wrong what you should be doing and where you should be living. It's what feels good for you. That's the answer. There's no right or wrong in this, or we can't tell you where you should be or where you should live, because that's not the answer. This is going back to your soul's contract. What fulfills you? What makes you happy? Not doing something for someone else or being there for anyone else. Being there for you, minus what everyone else has to do. Being true to yourself. You get that?
Yeah, I'm just not in a position to be able to do anything I want to do. So
then,
I don't know if I do that money-wise or anything. I've pretty much lost everything.
So when it comes to this part in your life, when you are where you are in life and everything feels like it's coming down on you, this is when you have to just, it's a lot of work, but let's just start from just having trust, faith, and believing, and not giving any thought to the negativity, just knowing that for me, it's God. So God has you.
Yeah.
He's not going to let you fall. Just having trust and believing in the process right now. Just praying. For me, it's going to church. For whatever it is you are, to talk to your higher self, to find that peace and solitude. And just start with positivity and faith, because that's where you are right now. To get to all this other stuff, where you should live, that's way above where you need to be. Right now, it's just about giving yourself self-love. That's where you need to start. Okay? And I don't know if you follow me or anything like that, but if you follow me on social media and even go to some of my past podcasts, it's a lot of work, Sharon, but just you got to get on the spiritual track right now and have faith, okay?
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm homeless, so.
It's hard. It's hard, but again, just start immersing yourself in spirituality right now and positive thinking and just having faith, okay? And everything, and I know you asked about your son, correct?
Right.
Your son is passed, and you asked about him, and it's stressful. And I know the way he passed is very stressful, and the situation and the questions and the confusing. But that was his contract, and this is how it was supposed to be. So I just want you to, again, to just right now, just please work on just like self-love and just giving yourself that love you need and staying positive, okay? Hello?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right, Sharon, and just, again, I wish I had more time, but we only have certain time, and just try to follow us on social media and try to, give yourself that love you need, okay?
Hey, Sharon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But before we go, Dr. Gina, if you don't mind me stepping in just for a minute.
Go ahead.
So Sharon, you said that you are currently homeless, correct?
Right.
Do you have anyone that you're staying with now?
I'm at a shelter, but I have to leave.
Okay. Is there a local church organization there? I mean, particularly, any denomination, not necessarily, for if you're religious or not, but are you around any local churches?
I am religious. I'm Catholic.
Okay. Is there a Catholic center anywhere around, or
no
a church?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
do you have access to a phone? Okay. So I think tonight you taking a step to call is a very positive step forward in reaching out. So I'm going to give you a number here if I can find it. All right, so there's a phone number that I want to give you, and it's called Coalition for the Homeless. And that phone number is 212-776-2000.
Okay.
And let them know your situation. Let them know where you are in the country right now, and let them know. And you're going to have to you're going to have to kind of almost talk over them, because they have, a lot of times these places will read from a script, and they kind of follow a flow chart based on your answer. Let them know that let them know that you're looking for a resource in your local area, and if they could please help you find that number. And tell them you'll wait on hold while they look. And they should be able to find something and keep. I know it's hard, but keep a positive attitude, and just know that by you putting that energy into making that phone call, you're starting a process that is going to, like a snowball rolling down a hill, right? It starts as a little tiny handful of snow.
Yeah.
By the time it's bottom, it's a big, huge fall. That you've got that little fist of snow right now. So make that call and explain to them your situation, and let them know that you need a local number of somebody you can call to help you. Okay?
Yeah, they're supposed to have, people here that are supposed to help you. And I've made a lot of calls, and I've asked. It's weird. That's why I called you guys, because I'm actually just being stonewalled. Things that are supposed to be done, or the people that are supposed to help you, it's not work. It's not happening. They're like not helping you.
Government-wise, there's a big process. There's paperwork. There's auditing. There's all kinds of things that goes on, and there's a reason why it is that way. But if you can find any local church groups, and the reason I say church groups is because they're non-government agencies, and they don't have to adhere to policies and procedures that the government agencies do. So if you can find a local church, just go and sit down, talk to them and say, here's my situation. Can you sponsor me? Can you help me get back on my feet? I'll donate X number of hours to helping you here, whatever is, you got to be willing to, it's give and take, right? So if you call that number first, if you hit another wall, then start dialing local churches, and one of them will take you in, and one of them will talk to you, and one of them will help you change course and take a different path. Okay? Because private organizations don't have to do a lot of the things that the government agencies do, so they have a little more leeway and flexibility. Okay?
Right. Okay.
I wish you all the best of luck. I know things are going to turn around for you.
Oh, that'd be great. All right. Thank you.
Sorry about that, Dr. Gina. Go ahead.
No, thank you. That's great. I didn't. Now I don't know what state she's in, but yes, church is always the way to go. For me, church.
And you do have another. You do. Sorry, I put myself back on mute. I went back to my corner. You have another caller. Would you like to bring her in?
Yes.
Okay. Lynn, go ahead. You're live on the air with Dr. Gina.
Great. Hi, Dr. Gina. It's Lynn. I don't know if you remember me. I saw you a few months ago, and definitely been working on just my test when it came to, romantic relationships and my ex. But I couldn't help, but I felt like you were, talking to me earlier when you were discussing loyalty within your job, and knowing when you feel uncomfortable and knowing when to go and when to stay. And so this month, this time last year, I got laid off from my job that I was there. I was there for 4 years. I would definitely say super loyal to the company. It's a small firm. And, all of a sudden I was kind of gone and I just felt like a super disposable. Took some time off. I've been at this current job now for about 7 months. And things are going well. I like the company. The people have been really nice. There's no office politics. But recently they've laid off 2 people. So they've laid off my manager and then this other woman that was working with me in New York. And so, I think right now I'm trying to figure out, a part of it feels a little uncomfortable and I feel like I'm not safe. But part of me also feels like I should stick it out because they've reassured that I'm safe. They've said I'm okay and that I shouldn't have anything to worry about. But I think there's just that little fear in the back of my head that, am I going to get laid off again? If so, I guess my biggest question is this a test? And if so, I guess my question is, do I stick it out for a little bit more, or do I maybe just start kind of looking and seeing what else is out there? I guess I don't want to get laid off another time. I feel like that would really hurt my confidence and my self-esteem.
I get the fear, and I hear the answer already, but I hear the answer already, but let me just channel this to give you a better answer. Okay, so I have a hard time telling you this because I hear the answer, and I keep saying, and I don't want to tell you this, but, they keep telling me that you need to keep your options open right now, and you need to definitely start looking around. Okay?
Okay.
So that means, what I'm hearing, and sometimes I straight channel, and sometimes I have to interpret, because if I straight channel, everyone of my clients know sometimes it's mean and, it's straightforward because the council, they're spiritual entities. They give you directly how it is, and, Dr. Gina has to come in and coach this a little for the feeling wise. So I'm saying, I'm hearing that you need to keep your options open and explore something. They're saying that this company is okay, but it's not good enough, okay? And they're saying that you already know this. Is that true? They're saying that you already feel this. You already feel the shakiness.
I think so. They're fine. They treat me, well. Mm-hmm. I just feel like, there's, I guess that stability is kind of missing, right? And I think, again, just going back to, I think there's this little fear in the back of my head of, am I going to get laid off again? And I feel like I don't want that to happen. And because it's such a small company and, I feel like they don't have sometimes the luxury of, keeping everyone on the payroll.
Yes. And see, this is your intuition kicking in. Okay. There is fear when, say, you went through that layoff. Some people do go through that fear. But this isn't right. This is what you're hearing is your intuition, and it's coming loud and clear. And that's why you're calling in right now. And I'm hearing Spirit talk to me, and they're telling me you need to keep your options open because this isn't for the long run, okay? This is something that this is good for now, GFN, but this isn't where you're going to make your home, okay? Yes, that loyalty was a test that you had to go through, and it's giving you a test right now. Because they're saying, is she going to sit here and be loyal to us again? Because we can just go around and shove dirt in her face again. Because didn't she learn her lesson from how loyal she was to the other place? And look what happened. Mm-hmm. Because nobody's going to keep you. This doesn't feel right. It's shaking you up. It's moving you around. That's because it's time to go. You see?
Even though I've been there for 7 months, I guess maybe I'm a little bit more aware.
Mm-hmm. So
what's happening?
They're saying you're feeling it. That's your intuition. You've made it through the last time. You survived that, but you don't want to go through it again. You see, you need to find a place where you, every day, you're coming in and you're feeling stable. And that will come, but it's not with this one. It will come, but you don't have it.
Okay.
That's why your intuition is telling you right now. I think I spoke about this in the show. When something's not right, you keep feeling it. You keep feeling it,
Mm-hmm.
You feel it.
Yeah.
It's not right, it's not right, it's not right. And that's what you're experiencing now, for sure. So that means just, stay there for now. Explore. Don't put your roots in right now, okay? Be there. Use it for the good for now while you're looking for the other thing.
Got it.
Okay?
That makes me feel better, because I feel like I wasn't sure if I was going to waste my energy exploring or if I should put 100% of my energy and focus, but I think it goes back to loyalty, right? And I don't, I guess I'm scared to be super loyal to a company, right? I'm fine being loyal to humans, my friends, my family, my dog. But yeah, I guess it's the fear again.
It's not even the fear, because that's going to subside. This is not the fear. This is your intuition saying, I've been through this before. I've learned my lesson, and I'm not going to do it again. This isn't the fear. There is fear at times, but this isn't the case. This is your intuition saying, holy shit, I felt this, and I don't want to do it again. I'm not going to go sink in. I'm going to stand up for myself now and start looking, and I don't care if I leave them and I'm not loyal to them, because on the surface it looks like they're doing so great to me, but guess what? I'm going to find something where I'm going to have my review in 6 months. They're going to say this, and I'm going to have more stability, and it's not where I'm at now. Okay?
Okay. That makes sense.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. All right. Thank you, Lynn.
Thanks, Dr. Gina.
Right.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so that is the end of my show, my last caller that I'm taking. Thank you, everyone that listened to tonight's show. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you, Charlotte, for coming in and speaking with that caller. And sometimes, people get in situations, and it is, she called in, and I appreciate Charlotte coming in and giving her information. We're all sending her good energy, and I hope everyone out there is. Life gives you different situations, and it is about remaining positive. It seems hard, and I've definitely been through my situations, and I've fallen and become a negative, and I've been in situations where I remain positive, and sometimes it's hard. But you got to find that positive, that energy. You got to ride high on that emotional scale, no matter what's being thrown in. And I always think of that story about the donkey. The farmer kept shoveling dirt on him. He was the old donkey, and he kept shoveling dirt on him to bury him pretty much alive in the hole. And all that donkey did is kept stepping up on the dirt, stepping up, until he got out of the hole. And that's what we have to do in this crazy life that we've come in. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Charlotte, for producing this show. Again, follow everyone on Girls vs. Ghost Media, Charlotte Hardin, and she's my producer that's doing amazing things. And follow all of us, and I am on Instagram as Psychic Medium, Dr. Gina Marie, and Facebook, I'm just Gina Marie. So I hope everyone has a great night and today's Easter Monday. So thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, everyone, for calling in, and everyone have a great night.